Hello students, we are going to start next topic of the imperfect competition, that is basic duopoly. But before that, I will tell you about all the topics we have covered that was coming under the discussion of imperfect competition. We have started from perfect competition, and then I have discussed and explained about monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Uh, Oligopoly, obviously, that is different from monopoly and monopolistic competition. And monopolistic competition, that is mixture of monopoly and perfect competition. That's why we talk that monopolistically competitive firms. And as you know that we have discussed about the oligopolies in the previous chapter, in the previous lecture also. I'm only revising that lecture for you that what was in oligopoly. Then I will go further the duopoly also. And in oligopoly, we have explained about interdependence of the firms. They cannot make decisions independently, but they are interdependent on each other because they have to change prices by seeing on the prices of rivals also. And there is possibility of collusion. Maybe they work together, or they are on the possibility of perfect competition. Their products can be homogeneous, can be differentiated, and there are some barriers to entry also. These are actually the main characteristics we have discussed, that they are interdependent, they make the strategy, and there are barriers to entry, and here are exclusive oligopolies also. Uh, in case of oligopoly, uh, if they collude or rather than compete, so they can be come under the monopoly also, and they will get the higher profits as the firms get profit in case of monopoly. And we have discussed that the oligopoly can be collusive and non-collusive also. Okay, collusive means members of group compete with each other, and non-collusive it means they are working like together and they don't compete. And you can take the example of the cartel formation or joint profit maximization in this case. There were some advantages of oligopolies, and here, in case of oligopolies, we discussed there are few firms here, or the few sellers are selling the products. In case of monopoly, there are only one firm, and in case of perfect competition, there are large number of firms. And in case of monopolistic competition, the firms will be more than 13 firms, and they can go till uh, a large number of firms, we can say. So here there are some advantages of the oligopolies. They can set their prices according to them, they can lower their prices, and it means they are not working like the competition also. And here obviously they will attain the super normal profits, and they can innovate. And here is the chance of the price stability also. But here are some disadvantages of monopoly also. uh, when Why there will be the disadvantages, as we have discussed that the whenever we say about the oligopoly, it means the income is concentrated among the few sellers. So high, whenever there is high concentration ratio, it will reduce the consumer choice. And whenever you talk about the cartel, it means cartel, the people are working together, and that can lead to the higher prices and reduced output. Um, in case of oligopoly, they make different decisions, and here are the barriers to entry. And oligopolist may be like the monopoly; they can be allocatively and productively inefficient. That way, all the things we have discussed there. Today I am going to explain how to get the perfect competition profit. As I have explained this, that the equilibrium condition under all the market structures is same, that marginal cost must equals to the marginal revenue. But here you can see you can easily know that profit can be written as the revenue minus cost. So revenue can be written as price multiplied by quantity minus CQ, means cost is a function of quantity, and you can take the first order condition for maximizing the profits, that can be equated to zero. Whenever you take this the derivative of profit function, so here the result will be this, means here it is multiplying by q, so here only you will write the p, and here this is the function, so p minus dc over dq, this can be the marginal cost. And in case of perfect competition, the profit can be written as price is equals to marginal cost. In other words, you can say that these are covering the allocative and productive efficiency requirement also. According to that, you can solve the question here. I have given there that suppose the cost function for a firm is given by CQ is equals to 100 plus Q square, means cost function is given here. If the firm sells output in a perfectly competitive market and the other firms in the industry sell output at a price of $10, what level of output should the firm produce to maximize profits or minimize losses? What will be the level of profits or losses if the firm makes the optimal decision? So here this is a question, means cost function is given, the price is also given, and you have to take the decision that how the optimal decision can be obtained in perfectly competitive market. So you will solve by this way, that first of all the fixed cost here, the fixed cost and the variable cost. This is the fixed cost is 100 and variable cost is q square. So the question deals with the short run scenario. If the firm, why it is short run, because fixed cost is here. Okay, if the firm produces a position level of output, it will produce where price equals marginal cost, because here it will the profits will be maximized. So you will take like the price must equals to the marginal cost. First of all, you have to calculate the marginal cost. Marginal cost is 2q, and you will write down the price is equals to marginal cost, and you will find out the q is equals to 5. So here the average variable cost of producing 5 units of output is, why we are using the average variable cost, because they are asking the question what level of output should the firm produce to maximize profits or minimize losses. Okay, first of all, this question you have solved, that your output, you have solved the output, that is 5. Now they're asking what will be the level of profits or losses if the firm makes the optimal decision. Now whether to shut down or whether to work, this is an optimal decision. For seeing this optimal decision, the price must greater than equals to average variable cost. So here you must calculate the average variable cost, which is total variable cost divided by quantity, and here it is 5. Price is 10, average variable cost is 5, 10 is greater than 5. Okay, so it means the firm should produce 5 units in the short run. It means that uh, he the price is greater than average value cost. Now you have to see that whether the factory will run or not. So you can put this profit here. You are explaining this is the profit pq minus cq. So here you will put the values pq minus cq, and you will get the loss, that is minus $75, which is less than the loss of $100. Okay, and 100 it is 100 is fixed cost that would result if the firm shut down its plant in the short run. It means here the factory is not you're closing fully, but here the firm is facing the loss but price is greater than average variable cost here. And in case of monopolistic profit, whenever you talk about, so here monopolistic can be written as pi is equals to revenue minus cost, and you can take the derivative with the so it is the first order condition, marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. The important point you must remember in case of monopoly is that the price is greater than marginal cost, but price is not equals to marginal cost. Price is greater than marginal cost. What is the reason that the price is greater than marginal cost? It means that the industry is not working on efficient way, means it is not uh, productively or allocatively efficient. Now I'm going to start this next topic, that is duopoly. Duopoly means duo means two, okay, poly. It means the two sellers. They are selling the same product. So this is a situation that where two companies together own all or nearly all of the market for a given product. Okay. A duopoly is the most basic form of oligopoly, a market dominated by a small number of companies. Okay. uh, it is the basic form of oligopoly, because in oligopoly you say that there are few sellers who are selling, but in duopoly you are saying only two. That's why it is a specific, very specific. There are some important key points um, of the duopoly. First of all, obviously, this is the kind of imperfect competition, okay, and they have the control over the price and quantity, so they can set the price whenever they will set the price. It means they know the quantity produced by each farm, okay. And the main thing is there is the price war started. Why there will be price war? Because they must see the prices of the rivals, okay. If they will change, that will affect on the firm. So here that will be the negative effect of the price war may report in the long run. There are characteristics of duopoly also. First of all, existence of only two sellers. As I have told you that only two sellers own the firm and they are independent. Okay. If any firm makes a change in the price or promotional scheme, other firms also have to comply with it to remain in the competition. Okay. To remain in the competition, they have to do it. And there is presence of monopoly also. Why there will be the monopoly? Because the products are differentiated, so they can enjoy their monopoly power also. And there are two popular model of duopoly. First is Carnot's model and Bertrand model. These two models are considered the important model of duopoly. The best example of duopoly is Visa and Mastercard. Boeing and Airbus, these are the two companies. They are making the aeroplanes. Airtel and Vodafone, these are the examples of the duopoly of the Indian economy. Facebook and Google, okay. So these are the best example of the duopoly that I have given to you. You must understand that you must know the real life examples of all the imperfect competition whenever you talk about the perfect competition. Best example we have discussed about the stock market and agriculture. market because so many sellers are producing the same product, so there is large level of competition is there. And um, in whenever you talk about monopoly, there is only one seller that is producing the product, okay, that is producing the same product. In case of monopoly, they have no competitor, okay. They don't want or allow to uh, enter any competitor in the market. And whenever you talk about the monopolistic company, but there are you must know about the best examples given in monopoly, that Wapda and Railway are the best examples of the monopoly. They have the monopolies also, and you can quote the best examples in case, and in case of monopolistic competition, um, there are actually the large number of firms who are competing with each other on differentiation of their products. So there are so many examples. They have the opportunities of research and development and innovations. They have the advertisement abilities also. Okay, and you can think the new examples of the monopolistic competition that are happening in your Pakistan economy. So Honda, Toyota. Uh, it means the whenever soaps and different products who are they are producing the producing with the same firms. The bulk of the firms are producing with each other and they are competing with each other. Whenever you talk about the oligopoly, it means there are few sellers, and whenever you talk about few sellers, it means they are rich, okay, concentrated among the rich sellers, and the concentration ratio is very high. And we have discussed, as you can see here, whenever you discuss about oligopoly, and then we have the better example of Suzuki, Honda, and Toyota. Uh, there, and we have discussed so many examples. These all the things are concentrated by only the few sellers. Okay, you can see here when we talk about smartphones, airlines, oil and gas, or automobiles. I'm only explaining these examples that you must have in mind these examples. Monopoly, only one, and oligopoly, you have told that there are only few sellers also. Now we are going the discussion here about the oligopoly, duopoly, and we have discussed that the examples are Visa, Mastercard, Boeing, Airbus, Airtel, okay, Vodafone, Facebook, and Google. So, what are the advantages of duopoly also? Obviously, every market structure has some advantages and disadvantages also. Uh, with so few significant competitors, firms are able to generate significantly higher profits. Practically, consumers must nearly always choose one of the two. The market is simpler for consumers, so they don't have to search among dozens of options to choose the best product or service for their needs. It means you're talking about only two sellers, okay? That's why there is less competition, and the market is so simple, okay? And financial resources can be put forward, refining the quality and functionality of existing products and services rather than attempting to create new ones in order to be more competitive. There are some disadvantages of duopoly also. It is very difficult for smaller businesses to enter the industry and gain the market share because you are talking about only two sellers. They can create their monopoly also and they can enjoy the best profit, and because there are only two sellers, so it means there is difficult to enter any other seller in the market, and they often collapse before they can become more competitive. Okay, it means there can be the possibility that they will not allow their competitor in the market. As in case of monopoly, the competition is difficult. They don't allow to enter any competitor, and it is also difficult to create the market for monopoly. Means it has a lot of effort. And whenever you talk about duopoly, because only two sellers here, two sellers are competing with each other. So whenever two sellers are competing with each other, so there may be the possibility also that difficult for them to enter in the market, and here is limited consumers choice. Okay, uh, you're talking about two products only. Okay, and they have the limited choice. Maybe if they are not finding any good opportunity with them, they may be unhappy. They don't have any alternative options. And here, whenever you're talking about there are two sellers also, so prices can be often very high for the consumers. Okay, and price fixing and illusion become more common in situation of duopoly, forcing consumers to pay more with few alternatives. Whenever you have only two alternatives, you will do the prices very high here, and you can take many other examples of the um, duopoly also. Okay, there are numerous examples of the duopoly. Here are the some of the most well-known means smartphones, Apple and Android. Okay, electronic payments, Mastercard and Visa, as I have discussed. Whenever you talk about soft drinks, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Okay, and Boeing and Airbus, these are the aircraft manufacturer. Okay, aeroplane manufacturer, and shipping, UPS and FedEx. Okay, maybe some in some cases these duopolies have been roaring down. Okay, uh, so you can think also about other examples of the duopoly and oligopoly also. What are these examples? This is a food of thought for you. Okay, uh, the actually key components of a duopoly are how the firms interact with one another and how they affect one another. Okay, in duopoly, whenever you talk about duopoly, two companies control virtually the entire market for the goods and services. Okay, so I have discussed there are some models of duopoly also. There are some models, the best two models, Cornot model and Bertrand model. Okay, whenever you talk about the Cornet model, they show that two firms assume each other's output and treat this as a fixed amount, and produce in their own firms according to this. First of all, um, Cornot, Cornot was a French mathematician and philosopher. Okay? And the model known as the Cornot duopoly model places weight on the quantity of goods and services produced, stating that it is what shapes the competition between the two firms in a duopoly. And whenever you talk about Cornut model, the key players in the duopoly make an arrangement that essentially divide the market in half and share it. And this model speculates that in duopoly, each company receives price values on goods and services based on the quantity or availability of goods and services. And here, in this case, the two companies maintain a reactionary relationship in regard to market prices, where each company changes and make adjustment to their respective production, ending when an equilibrium is reached in a form of equal halves of the market for each of them. In case of this, they divide the market share, they divide the market with each other. And in case of Bertrand model, you talk about game of two firms, okay, and each of the firms they will assume they will not change in prices in response to price cut. When both firms use this logic, they will reach a Nash equilibrium. In case of Corner model, they can cut the prices, they have the price war also. And in case of Bertrand, they say that they will not cut the prices in response of the other seller and they can reach to the condition of Nash equilibrium. Okay. In case of Bertrand, this is the actually critique of the Cournot model of duopoly and what led to the furthering of both oligopoly theory and game theory, most notably resulting in the formation of his theory or model of duopolies. Whenever you differentiate these two models, Cournot model and duopoly model, okay, the difference is that the Cournot believed production quantity would derive the competition between two companies. So this is the best differentiation that they believe on quantity. And whenever you talk about Bertrand, and they take that they believe that the competition would always be driven by price, and Cornot say that the competition would be driven by output. Okay, competition will come by the output. There is the condition of output, and here you are saying in case of Bertrand that condition will come because of or the competition, sorry, competition is driven by the price. Okay, so Bertrand's duopoly theory identified that the consumers, when given a choice between equal or similar goods and services, will opt for the company that gives the best price. Okay, this would start a price war here. Price war will start in case of Bertrand, with both companies dropping prices, leading to an inevitable, inevitable loss of profits. Okay. In case of Cornell, they take care of the quantities, and in case of Bertrand model, they take care of the prices, and they start the price war also. And because of that price war, they can reach towards the Nash equilibrium. They cut the prices. Okay, maybe this can be happen that they don't give the response to the change of the prices, but there is a possibility to reach the competition driven by the prices. uh, and there are two classifications of duopoly also. They make the collusion or they have no coordination. Okay, there may be coordination between duopolists, or maybe they don't have the cooperation with them. So duopolies actually these are significant because they force each company to consider how its action will affect its rival, means how the rival firm, other firm, will respond. It affects how each company operates, how it produces its goods, and how it advertises its services, and can ultimately change what and how goods and services are both offered and priced. When the two firms compete on price in Bertrand duopoly, prices tend to dip to or below the cost of production, thereby wiping out any chance for profit. Okay. Whenever you talk about duopoly, okay, when operating and competing based on production quantity instead of price, tend to function better, avoiding any potential for legal issues and enabling each firms to share in the profits, reaching a price and operating within their dualistic market. It means you are talking about the Cornot and Bertrand. Whenever you talk about quantity, so here the duopolists are a little bit relaxed. And in case of Bertrand, there can be the price war. They want to reach at the prices, or there can be possibility of the cost of production also. And whenever you talk about, they can collude with each other. Okay, they have the possibility. Okay, they can be coordination with each other. Okay, turns out to be kind of monopoly. Single decisions are made by both duopolists, which create monopoly in the market, like drug cartels, OPEC, etc., and that usually banned by the government, because government usually try to avoid this monopoly because it is harmful for market environment and consumers. Okay, and whenever you say that there is non cooperating, whenever they cooperate, so make the monopoly, no one can enter the market. They have their market, they can enjoy their profit, they can raise their prices also. Okay, and whenever you talk about non-cooperating or non-inclusive duopoly, so it means they don't cooperate with each other and they earn the supernormal profits, and they both have impact on market. They have their strategic planning, and examples are boxing and this sprint race. Okay, it means they are making their own decisions. They are not cooperating with each other. It means they both have their own products also. Okay, and in this case, they have the non-inclusive duopoly. I have given you the examples, best examples of this also. Okay, you can think on this, and you can further make the things about what are the things are happening in the oligopoly monopolistic competition. Okay, uh, so here actually you have discussed about coordination, okay, and non-coordination. Whenever both two firms make the coordination, they become like the monopoly, they make one firm. When they have no coordination, okay, so it means they will perform well. Okay, they don't cooperate, maybe they get the supernormal profit also. So don't be uh, so confused about this market structure. Obviously, there are the different market structures. There are different examples. They have the different characteristics. Okay. Um, Whenever I will now, if I give the summary to the duopoly, okay. So there are only two forms. First of all, you have discussed, okay, they can be imperfect. This is the kind of imperfect competition, and you talk about here the prices and quantity. Whenever you talk about prices, and this is the Bertrand model and quantity produced by each firm, it means you are concerning about the Carnot duopoly. Then we have discussed some characteristics of the duopoly, okay, and we have discussed some characteristics. They can the monopoly, they can have the perfect competition. Companies agree to share the market in half, okay, and industries they have the ability to set prices and have the power within the market to calculate and set these prices above the marginal cost, okay. Only in perfect competition prices will be equals to marginal cost, but in other all the imperfect competition the prices will must greater than marginal cost, and they don't have the capacity to allow competitors to enter in the market, okay. And they always look ways to maximize their profits, okay, by looking at how to match their income through the product sale plus the cost involved in producing. Then I have given you these examples, and we have discussed some advantages and disadvantages also. Okay, and then I have discussed about the models that were the Carnot model and Bertrand. Again, I will give you the some glimpse of the Carnot model. This model is based on the interaction between the two competing companies, okay, which are directly affected by change in each other's production. This means that the companies are going to function depending on the decision of their direct competition, okay. It means they are competing on their quantity basis. I have discussed this. In case of Bertrand model, this is a proper interaction between companies. It's a function focused on the game produced with the company's price levels so that both companies can produce independently. Okay, so here you are saying about the price cut, or they make the decision to compete with each other on the basis of prices. Okay. As I have told that there are some advantages. Advantages means they can maximize their profits, okay, and they have the cooperative equilibrium means jointly they will make the profits, and they can optimize actually uh, their profits, okay. And as a result of competition between duopoly businessmen, consumers are the ones who are favored because monopoly prices have been eliminated in this case. Whenever you talk about disadvantages, so it means it affects free trade opportunities also, okay. And on many occasions, state must intervene in order to control both the quality of goods and services offered and the setting of maximum prices offered to the public. So, Obviously, I have given you the examples of the duopoly. You can search a few other examples, real life examples of the duopoly. I hope you are getting the lecture. Okay, and after that, I will discuss about the game theory. But before, mm you have to complete all these market structures. Okay, uh, you can make the notes and differentiate the characteristics of all market conditions, what type of their demand curves, whether they are elastic, less elastic, or more elastic. Okay, then you can write down there some examples, real life examples, what is coming in your mind, and then we will discuss the game theory after that. Okay, obviously game theory is little bit tricky, and mm, this is related with your oligopoly model, and we will discuss that will be the interesting. But before that, you must understood all the concepts that I have given you about the market structure. Okay, how much they are making the profits, how much they are making the revenue, and uh, how they are maximizing their profits, whether they are creating a competition, whether they are getting a monopoly, and how many firms are working. You can take the example of your Pakistan economy also. This will be a little bit realistic in your case, and you can ask any question regarding this lecture after listening the lecture, after understanding the lecture. Okay, I have told you that whenever you go through the lecture or any topic, so you can understand it in a good way. Okay, and you can ask any question on the Google Classroom. Obviously, that platform is for all the students. So many students are making the confusion about lectures, online lectures. Obviously, you're suffering from that pandemic, that is coronavirus. It is affecting all the people. Obviously, you have to remain calm and think that you are taking the classes. These are not only the online or recorded lectures, but these are actually your classes, and we are waiting for the notifications that how good we take the midterm or final exam also. But you have to prepare. Okay, um, uh, we don't have much information about the date or it's about final exam, but you must know that you must read or listen all the lectures carefully, and be sure or make sure that in each week you must listen the two lectures, because whenever we take the live lectures there were only the two classes. So make the schedule, make the timetable, that don't miss any class and listen every lecture, make the notes, make the questions, draw the diagrams. Okay, and not for only this subject but for all the subjects. Okay, mm, I think this will be easier for you for your final term